Today, I'm sharing with you guys my biggest productivity hack of 2026, ways that I am transforming my home and my homeschool in order to help it run more efficiently. And guess what the answer is? It's NFC tags. Don't know what that is or how I use them? Well, stick around. Let's get started. These NFC tags are going to help reduce decision fatigue. They're going to help your kids to be able to work more independently, and they're going to help you put things on automations. What is an NFC tag? Well, they come in tags, which are like little tiny stickers, or they come in cards. And it's really the same concept. If you've ever used like Apple Pay or Tap to Pay, it's essentially that technology. There's a little microchip inside both of these that can store information. Or for us old school people, you might be thinking the idea of like a rewritable CD, okay? For those who are younger, don't worry about it. But for those of us who have been around a while, you know it's the same concept. You can write information on the microchip, right? And you can rewrite over it or you can lock it just like you could with a CD. But why is this so cool? And how hard is it actually to set this up? Well, no worries. I'm going to show you guys some of the ways we're using this in our homeschool and a few tips that I learned when it comes to setting it up. So let's go. First, I want to start with the cards because the cards have opened up a whole new world for us when it comes to audio and video learning opportunities. So if you guys have been on my channel for a while, you know that I love audio textbooks. We like to get the physical textbooks too, but my kids will like look at the pictures more in depth while they're listening to the audio, or we'll do the audio in the car. So I will purchase those audio textbooks from the curriculum company and oftentimes store them in my Google Drive so that I don't end up losing them or accidentally deleting them. Now I can access them easier because what I have done is I have taken these textbooks, I just grabbed a picture and made a sticker out of it so I can keep track of which one was which. And when I tap this to my phone, it automatically opens up the Google Drive where this audio textbook is. So now I can just select the specific chapter that I want to listen to instead of trying to fumble around and open up the different apps and get to the right things. It doesn't sound like it saves a lot of time, but let me tell you, it really, really does. Because I don't know about you, but in my house, the second it takes me a little bit to get something set up, the cats scatter, right? And it's always hard to herd them back in. So having things like our history, our poetry, this is one of my teens' histories, and our science this year, having those on NFC cards and being able to tap and listen wherever we are has been incredibly, incredibly helpful, especially when it comes to driving in the car, because I can tap this before I take off and it automatically pulls it up. My daughter will just select which of the chapters that we're going to listen to, and it makes it a lot more hands-free. But what if you don't use textbooks or audio textbooks in your house? Well, that's okay. There's other uses that you can have for them. One of the uses that we like to do with our kids is being able to use them for read-alouds from extended family. What do I mean by that? Well, in 2020, when we couldn't have as much contact with grandparents as we like to, my mom took some time recording herself reading some of her favorite read-alouds to my kids on video and to all the grandkids. And so that was a really awesome experience. But it got us thinking. We have several nieces and nephews and cousins and things like that that live out of state or live further away. And so it's an awesome way to kind of get to reconnect with them and to get them to see our faces. Yes, you can find a lot of these books on YouTube, but then they're just random people reading them to your kids. Now, I don't recommend putting it on YouTube, but these we have filmed different books that different people in our family have read, and then I just used Canva to take the picture of the book and then put who read it. So this one was read by Nana, so that was really fun. And then Big Brother read one of the books. I've read a couple of my favorite books, and Daddy is actually reading a chapter book to the kids of City of Ember. And the way this is working is that we went ahead and made a Google folder just for this book, since it's a chapter book and not a picture book. We made it a Google folder, and then each video within the folder is each chapter. So he is actually like on chapter 3 or 4 right now, and then he just records and uploads a new chapter every day or two. And then our kids are able to listen to those chapters as Daddy puts them out. And we don't have to change the link because it's just going to that folder. So no matter what he puts in there, then they'll be able to listen to all those read-alouds. So this has been awesome. When my kids have some downtime in the school, especially with my little ones, at least once a month, I have to leave them here with their teen siblings while I head to my daughter's infusions. And that's a whole day experience. They have some schoolwork they can work on their own, but then they also need some independent activities. So being able to listen to some of these storybooks have been amazing. We also took our Adventures in Odyssey. So we have a lot of the Adventures in Odyssey, which is a Christian audio drama. If you don't know about it, you should know about it. You should go check it out right now. That I was literally raised on, my husband was raised on, and now my kids are being raised on. And we have a lot of the digital copies that we've purchased over the years that we have also turned into NFC cards. So they've got the picture of the album on the front, and then on the back, the list of the different episodes. And then my kids are able to tap this and it takes them to that Google folder where they can listen to the audiobooks whenever they want. And I just absolutely love that they have access to these and they're listening to them so much more now that they have access to them. But audio learning is just one of the uses that you can use when it comes to these NFC tags. We also have done video learning. So these NFC tags are actually tags, not cards, because you're able to take the tags and you can actually laminate them. Now you want something between the tag and the laminating paper because of the heat to it, but I just took pieces of paper and I printed out science videos, I printed out Bible music, history videos, math songs in my Calm Down kit. I did a video on that recently. You can go check it out in the description below, but I have a Calm Down music playlist, and Calm Down videos for them. So you can label it whatever you want. I just folded the paper over. I went ahead and added a QR code as well because some of my kids' phones will use the NFC tags. Some tablets will, some tablets won't. So for those who have the ability to use the NFC tags, they can. For the other ones, they have a QR code and you can use it the same way for both of them. But these just link to YouTube playlists that I have created. They're private, so it's not public for everybody else. So you can create a YouTube playlist. You can link to those in these cards, and then what you're able to do is you can change out what's on those playlists whenever you want. As long as you don't change the actual link to the playlist, you can change out the information, you can change up the order. So like say for history, right now you're studying knights and ladies and lords and you want to put that on there, but next year you're going to be studying US history. You can take those videos off and put them on without having to change the actual cards themselves. So these work as a great placeholder. They're definitely more flimsy than the cards, so I still probably prefer the cards better, but I wanted to do an experiment to see if I could kind of make my own card, so to speak, with an NFC tag inside. Okay, Katie, so I see how the audio and the video learning can help with the kids' independence, but what about this whole like making life easier and helping to automate things? Well, I've got you there, okay? This is so much fun, but you can take these tags, they are little stickers. Now I will say, I'll link down below to the ones that I bought. They're very, very affordable. It's like $15 for 50 stickers. So very, very, very affordable. But the ones I'm linking to have adhesive on the back. If you decide to pick different ones, that's totally fine, but just make sure if you want them to stick that they actually have adhesive on the back, because some of them do not. If you find ones that are incredibly cheaper, it's usually because they don't have adhesive. So I was able to just print out this picture. This is a Dollar Tree or Walmart picture frame that was like $1.25. I took a piece of paper, and on the back of here, where you see each of these stickers, I put an NFC tag on the back of each of these icons. So when I tap them, it will open up different things. So for this one, for instance, it says World Watch. So when I tap on this from my iPhone, it will not only open up World Watch automatically, which is a Christian news source that we use every morning with our kids, but not only will it open it up on my phone, but it will also have it set up where it will automate that it will screen share to my TV. So all I have to do is press play and we can watch the latest episode of World Watch with literally just one tap. Then I have things like the Westminster Shorter Catechism. I, years ago, bought a digital version of an illustrated Westminster Shorter Catechism book that we absolutely love, and my kids love to be able to see the illustrations. We also have the physical copy too, but they can't all crowd around it with 6 kids. So with this, it does the same thing. When I tap it, it opens up that Google Drive or that Google link where I have stored the file, and it displays it on our TV so that they're able to see that. We can scroll through that and review our catechism questions every Sunday. I have one here that's for our movie queue, which is just simply a Google sheet that I've created that has different movie list ideas for our family movie nights, for teen movie nights, for our little kids movie nights, and then ones that my daughter and I are going through and watching. We're watching a lot of the rom-coms now that she's 14. We're having fun doing that. So this just kind of goes that. So when we're sitting in the living room and we're like, well, what do we want to watch for movie night? We can tap there and we can have that long list for us. This is probably my favorite one that we've done so far, and this is our Attitude Reset playlist. So I was able to make a playlist on Amazon Music, but you can do this, I believe, on Spotify or any kind of music streaming source, or even just your own CDs. If you put them on your computer, you're able to link to a playlist that you select. It took me a little bit of work and a little bit of workaround, but I was able to actually get this where when I tap it, it will play this playlist all over my house throughout all of our Alexa devices on our Everywhere group. And when it says Attitude Reset, it is Christian upbeat music that just, it truly has changed attitudes in our home. When this gets played, people are dancing, they stop fighting. There's just that uplifting moment there that is just really, really incredible. It's about 30 minutes long of a playlist, but I can scan this whenever we kind of need that reset. And it's amazing how after that 30 minutes, everybody is doing a lot better. And then last but not least on this frame is that I have the Humility and Doxology podcast. So if you guys didn't see my Instagram story, over on Instagram, I shared that one of my goals for this year is I want to listen to all the episodes of the Humility and Doxology podcast. My friend Amy over at Humility and Doxology runs this podcast. She has like over 200 episodes, incredible people that she has interviewed over the years. And I'm constantly thinking, oh, I should go listen to that episode or that episode. And I never get around to it. So I made it a goal for this year. I printed out a list of all of the different episodes that she has available, and I'm checking them off as I go, but I wanted a way to easily access that. So when I tap this, it automatically opens my podcast app to her podcast and to the episode I'm currently on, which is amazing. So these are just some of the fun automations that I have set up here. As you can see, I'm a little excited about this. I've definitely annoyed many family and friends talking about these NFC tags because I am so excited about them. And I don't want to bother you, but I do want to give you a few other ideas of ways that you can utilize this. So we've put one of these tags on my bedside table, and when I tap that tag, it will send out a text message to all of my children or their devices. Like their tablets don't have texting, but they have texting because it's Apple products or whatever. So it'll go to all the devices and it'll say, turn in your devices for the night. So my kids know that before they go to bed, they're supposed to turn in their devices, but that doesn't always happen and it's not usually intentional. So when I tap that, it's gonna send out a text. If everybody's devices are in my room, then it texts them and it's no big deal. But if they're not, it's that great reminder for them to bring them in and to check them in before I go to sleep so that they're not coming in after I'm already asleep, waking me up trying to check in their devices at night. We also have one on our washing machine. Now you do want to be careful not to put these on metal because they definitely, sometimes they won't work as well. I've heard some people say they do, some people say they don't. So we have like a glass middle, I guess, for our washing machine. And so I just put it on the glass. Some people will put it behind the light switch covers, or they'll put it again like on a frame that's sitting in their laundry room. But you can tap it and it sets an alarm for an hour and a half. So when I put a load of wash in, or any of my kids put a load in the washing machine, they tap that remind me sticker on the washing machine, and it will automatically, for iPhones, it'll automatically set an hour and a half timer on their tablet or on their phone, and it'll notify them so they remember to switch over the laundry. Because in our house, getting it done is not the hard part. It's get it all the way done. We also have used automations on my husband's desk. So he goes to work full time and then also is going back to school. And so sometimes he'll have time tasks or activities. So the kids know in general that when dad's home and he's working on school, they need to like not come in unless it's really important. But there is times where he'll have them come in and hang out in the room. They'll maybe listen to an audiobook or watch a show or something while he's working because they just want to be with dad, and he loves that. But there are times where he needs to focus hard, right? He needs to do a timed test, or he is doing a live call for maybe an online class. And so we've been trying to figure out how we can help communicate that more effectively to the entire family, because we're not always home at the same time with having a lot of teens in the house, and the younger ones don't always know what's going on. So what I did is I created a NFC tag that sticks on his desk, that when he taps it, it puts him in school mode, and it automatically sends out a text to all of the kids' devices again saying, hey, dad's in school mode, and and don't come into his room unless you get another text, like until you get another text. And then when he's done, he taps the one next to it and it sends out a text saying, okay, dad's out of deep focus mode. If you need him, you can come in and ask a quick question or whatever before he goes back to school. And that's been really, really, really cool to see. I think that'll be fun for throughout the semester for him in an easier way so that he doesn't feel like he's constantly shooing kids. He'll feel like he's told everyone he's about to take a time test and realize that I wasn't home, so he forgot to tell me, because it also texts me too. Or that he realizes the little ones didn't know. So this is just kind of a neat way to have that throughout the house. So these are just a few of the ways we're using NFC tags and NFC cards in 2026 to help automate things, make things a little more simple, help my kids with independence, and make life easier when it comes to decisions. But I do want to give you just a few quick tips if you're thinking about implement this in your home. First of all, know that there's a learning curve. I believe the first one took me like an hour to an hour and a half to figure out how to do, just because I was figuring out the whole system. After that, I've literally been able to create like 50 of these in no time at all. But some of the key things that were helpful is watching YouTube videos. I'll link a few that were extra helpful for me and gave me some ideas of what I could do. Also is talking to AI, whether it's ChatGPT, talking to Claude, talking to Google Gemini, whatever it might be, is asking it and telling it what you want it to do. So saying like, hey, I want to set up an automation that opens up a website and then allows it to screencast to my TV. And not only was AI able to walk me through that whole process, that whole step, and say, okay, it said, first of all, are you using an iPhone or an Android? You can use NFC tags with both, but it depends on which one, depending on how you set it up. Also, some ways of setting up NFC tags only work for your phone, and you have to program them on each phone. Other ways work on all phones. They're universal. So like we made one, could work on anybody's phone, that when they come in our house, they can tap that and it's able to automatically connect them to our Wi-Fi so they don't have to ask for our password. So there's different kinds out there that you can do, and some things work better on one than the other. So what the AI can help you do is it can help walk you through step by step. Okay, input this. If you're like, hey, you said to click this button, that button's not there, then it can say, okay, try this option instead. So working with that has helped me to do a lot more of the more complex commands, and I'm sure there's even more complex ones that I'll be working on in the future. But if you tell it what you want it to do and then ask it to help you walk through it, it'll give you a step-by-step guide. It will save you hours and hours of time doing it that way. Yes, it takes a little work on the front end setting up, but the long-term reward is great. You can use it for all sorts of things in your home and in your homeschool. If you guys like hearing about this, maybe I'll do some additional shorts and things when I have other ideas or other uses that I use it for. So let me know in the comments if you want to see more of that. But all of that to say, I hope it's been helpful. And if you guys want to learn about that calm down kit I talked about earlier, then be sure to check out this video here.